I am noticing that with this build on the hood, much more so than I did with the Bismarck, I am painting myself consistently into corners. In other words, I'm not painting these parts or areas of the deck or whatever in the order that I should. For instance, I'm thinking now that I'm in all likelihood going to be getting spray from the deck, the dark gray that I want to use here. I'm going to be getting it onto the sides, the insides of the gun tubs or railings or whatever you call those things. And I'm going to have to repaint them or try and figure out how to mask them off. And I'm not depressed. I'm not discouraged. I am enjoying this build. And I know I've got my early morning voice on right now, and it might sound like I'm a little bit hungover, but that's just the way my voice is first thing in the day. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. Okay, so what actually are these things now? Now, to my way of thinking, the ones that have all the handles on the top of the hatches are something that has to be opened from the outside. But I've recently come across something in John Roberts' book here that sort of indicates that maybe some of these were escape hatches and not storage boxes. But what got me going on it was, are they really flared out at the bottom? In other words, smaller at the top than they are at the base by quite a bit. And so I was trying to find photographs earlier, and I actually couldn't find any photographs, but I did find what appeared to be some drawings. Now, I haven't looked carefully in Stefan Draminsky's book, and he's also got some drawings here. I don't know if he's got any drawings of the actual fittings or not. I know he's got he's got drawings of the ship. Okay, here's some. I'll reposition the camera here. Anyway, I'm just curious here. These things. What exactly were they? I think they were storage boxes, especially the ones that have all the latches on the outside. You wouldn't want an escape hatch with a whole bunch of latches on that you had to open from the outside. Anyway, okay, let's see what we can find in Stefan Draminsky's book here. Now this is the very front cover, and this is the drawing that's on the front. And if we look here, we can see a box there, and according to his drawing, they do appear to be flared out at the base. Okay, there's a lot of stuff on our deck that is not on our deck yet. Like these boxes here will have to be put on. This area that we're looking at right here is this area right here. This box here is this one. This one is this one. This little hatch over here is kind of in behind this place where somebody would stand, I guess, to look out. This one here is this one. But notice all of them are quite clearly drawn. Now remember, this is a drawing, it's not a photograph. They are drawn with the base clearly flared out, almost at a 45-degree angle. Now, I said yesterday something about that I thought they were flared so that it would be easier to pull the molds apart when Trumpeter was molding them. Well, clearly that was wrong. Now, I'm sorry you're upside down here, but at least I'm right side up, at least so far. Now, it's kind of hard to find photographs that or drawings rather, that depict the profile of these things. We're looking at them sort of from the top. Now clearly these ones have straight sides. Okay, I don't think we're going to find anything better than what we've already seen here. There's some more, but it's not a close-up, it's not a profile. We've beat this to death, as I usually do, to the point of tears. I think that's pretty well it. I've been through the whole book now, at least Stefan's book. So, okay, let's get on with it. Now, in this fold-out that came with Stefan's book, as well as a bunch of fittings and so on, now there wasn't the boxes, but there was some good drawings here, like of where the rigging goes. When we get to that part, I don't think I'm going to do all the rigging that is depicted in some of the drawings. However, something like this I think would probably look pretty good. And if you remember, let me get it out here. Okay, remember we made these things up? And got an email from, or a message rather, from one of the viewers, and the idea is keep in mind that I'm going to eventually be wanting to use these, and before I get too far ahead in the build, it might be a lot more convenient to drill the holes now than try and drill them later, like we were doing on the Bismarck. Like the stays for the smokestacks and or the funnels rather, smokestacks, the funnels, and where the stay would come down and mount on the deck and stuff like that. It might be a good idea to try and keep that in mind now before I paint the part. Makes sense to me. Yesterday when I was checking the Canada Post tracking on our package, it said it was going to be delivered tomorrow. Well, today is tomorrow. And I thought, okay, and earlier this morning it was sort of miserable and drizzly outside, and I was thinking about that poem that goes something to the effect of, neither rain nor snow nor a miserable cold Winnipeg winter will keep the brawny postman from his expected rounds. It goes something like that, or maybe I'm getting it mixed up with that poem that goes something about a blacksmith, and it's under the brawny chestnut tree, the spreading smithy stands, or something like that. I'm probably getting it all mixed up. It doesn't matter. I'm not much of a poet. Anyway, so I'm thinking about that poem, and I'm thinking, well, maybe the bad weather is holding our postman back, and I'm checking the website just now, and they've changed their tune. Now it's not coming until Monday. Okay, well, that's too bad. We were sort of looking forward to trying out the Viejo liquid mask. At least that's what I'm supposed to be getting. Anyway, let's get on to our model here. Now, I have a really bad habit of not taking really good advice. Now, this tip that I want to pass on, I do believe I heard this a year or so ago when we were doing the Bismarck. And the tip goes like this. If you remember, I was sort of indicating that I was kind of worried about the fact that if I was to spray around these boxes a little bit too heavy and it was to sort of pool, it could run down between the box and the tape and get on the deck. Well, one of the viewers in the tip, I think it was yesterday, says, why don't you take your deck tan and paint around your boxes? And then if any of the deck tan runs down and gets onto the deck, it won't matter. It'll be the same color. Now, he didn't use all those words, but that's what he meant. Now, let it dry, then spray your boxes. Now, the idea being that if you go around the boxes with the deck tan, I'm assuming I would use a brush. I would probably just try and lightly brush it on. I wouldn't just flood it on, but the idea would be that the deck tan will plug the holes or the cracks. Then let it dry, then spray your boxes, Then when you peel the tape off, anything that's run down, you're not going to see it anyway. That's a real good tip. My problem is with a lot of these really good ideas, I don't do them. I think for the most part we got it here. There's some places where the tape doesn't seem to want to stick down very well. I don't know if it's because I got grease from my fingers maybe on the tape that's underneath. I know it kind of looks like it might not be sealed tight up against the boxes, but I do believe we've got it. And the paint that I'm going to use here, this is the thinned version that we used for spraying. Now there's already deck tan on those boxes. I think I'm putting it on heavy enough that it's going to. Maybe this is too heavy. Now I've got my magnification hood on right now, and I can actually see where it does appear to be running in. Those of you who have done this before, you can tell me if I appear to be putting it on too heavy. I actually don't mind if some of the detail along the sides is kind of lost, because there's another one here. As long as I don't, get it on the top where the little latches are and hinges and all that kind of stuff. Maybe I should have the macro lens on. This is the first time I've ever done this, so I knew about it, I believe, when we did the Bismarck. It seems to me that somebody did suggest it as well. Maybe the same person, for all I know. Here you can sort of see where it's running in. Now, is it going to seal itself, or? We're going to have to leave this overnight now. Yeah, I can sort of see where this will work. Now, right there. Oh, I see what it is. I've got 2 layers of tape there. That's why it looks worse than it really is. Oh, this one here is going to be a little harder. I don't want to get it on top. Ooh, we got it on top a little bit there. Well, maybe when it evaporates, the detail will come back. Now once again, there's two layers of tape here. This piece that I'm touching right now is on top of another one that actually goes right up against the side of the base there. Try and get this down a little bit. It didn't do a very good job there. Now I know some of you are thinking I missed one, but I didn't. My intention is to put the macro lens on, and we'll do this one here up close. Okay, did I get the rest? I think so. Okay, we'll let that dry. Let it dry overnight. I know yesterday's episode was over half an hour long. Today's is going to be nothing like that. I did want to talk a little bit about another idea I have here, and I think we have time to do that yet this afternoon. Okay, here's my thinking. Guess I should blow this off first. Anyway, you remember a couple of weeks ago I meticulously went all the way around the inside of these guards here, or as somebody mentioned, gun tubs, and I was saying at that time that I thought it would be a lot easier to paint the deck up to the guardrail than it would be to paint the guardrail down onto a painted deck. Now, at that time, I thought I was probably going to use a brush, because if I remember right on the Bismarck, we used a brush in places like this, and it seemed to work out okay. I am now thinking of spraying. However, if I spray, I'm going to get this number 77 all over on this. In fact, it's going to obliterate it, so that I'm going to have to redo the number 22. Which wouldn't be too hard because the degree of darkness is about the same. I know I'm not using the right terminology, but I think you know what I mean here. So it wouldn't be too hard to paint this over this. And at least that's what I think. Now, the other plan is, why don't I just take our number 77 and maybe come a quarter of an inch all the way around, and then just kind of mask this off. Those of you who have used liquid mask, how does it work in something like this where there's a lot of little tiny nooks and crannies that this stuff can get stuck into? How easily does it peel out? I guess we can do a test, but we're going to have to wait until Monday now for that. And I'd like to just sort of keep going here if I can. And and I can't really do anything much else on this part. until I, make up my mind what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to call this video quits for today. And maybe in the comments, those of you who have used the liquid mask, and I checked my order to see which one I'm getting, and it's the Vallejo brand. So I don't know if it's good, bad, or what. So will the liquid mask get itself all stuck in these little tiny nooks and crannies and you can't get it out, or will it just sort of all peel away? It'd be nice if it would all peel away. And then, like I say, I just go all the way around with the brush here and just do 1/4 of an inch out, and then mask this off somehow, and then when I spray, it doesn't really matter. Well, the sun has come out, our streets have all dried up. Yeah, nice way to end the day. Thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.